Hello there and welcome to the Breakfast Connect show right here on Africa Business Radio. My name is Rachel and today I'll be having someone very interesting joining me for conversations. Nigeria, our beloved country, is rich in conventional energy resources. We've got oil, we've got natural gas, lignite and coal. It is also well endowed with renewable energy sources such as wood, solar, hydropower and wind. Yet, there seems to be a huge distribution gap in the sector. Well, joining me to talk about this is Olusola Owoyemi, Chief Executive Officer. He is a technology and clean energy advocate and leads strategy, partnerships, fundraising and expansion at Infi Branches. Hello, Olusola. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Good morning to you.
All right, I was just going to say congratulations. Infi Branches just bagged a $2 million investment from Shell-funded impact investment company All On. That, of course, is also going to be a part of our conversation today. So, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's start with your overall view of the energy sector, seen as, well, I can say you're an insider. So what's your overall view of the energy sector in Nigeria?
Okay, so I think my view I think that sector is currently growing. So there's still a lot of gap that needs to be filled as regards distribution and development as well. So basically, looking at the number of people that are still excluded when it comes to energy access, so over 80 million Nigerians are still excluded. About 120 million Nigerians not having access to reliable energy of up to 4 hours daily. So I think this is actually reducing the level of productivity of most people, and that gap needs to be filled. So there's still a lot of gap when it comes to the Nigerian energy sector. As you may know, part of our mandate as well is we have a special focus on the Niger Delta region, but to also improve the energy sector within that area as well. And one of the key things for us is trying because as of today we have about 34% people that only enjoy access to energy within that area, and all of that has to change. So we're looking at ways to actually improve all of that, and that's one of the reasons why we did this partnership with Olon to actually drive improvement in that sector and also solve the payment and distribution problem that currently exists.
Right. I think when you ask, throw this question out there about the view of the energy sector or why we're lagging behind, it will always come back somehow to investment. People will say, okay, we need more investment in that sector and all of that. But how much investment do you think is needed in that sector? And where is the money going to come from, really?
Okay, so I think there's still a lot of investment that we need in this sector. So because as of today, just 5% penetration of renewable energy and in energy access within the entire country. So that means we still have over 95% to cover. And so looking at the number of people that I mentioned earlier that are still excluded. All of these people are off-grid, and simply means we need to start looking at alternative sources of energy to actually power them, and also bring them on board and get them included. So it's going to be a lot of investment, and so I think it's not going to just come from just local investors. So it's going to be a mix of both local and foreign investments to actually drive this forward.
Right. Now, speaking of foreign investments, we have a lot of IOCs, becoming more energy conscious and compliant, and they are currently committing to invest in, I think they've mentioned that for 10 to 20 years, they are focusing on investing in the energy sector. Some have even said that up to a third of their revenue has to come from power. So obviously, a lot of investment will be going into that sector globally. But I think another big question is how we can position Nigeria to be the favorite investment destination for all that investment that's coming in. How do we diversify our energy mix at the same time?
So I think one very critical thing that we need to look at is to not just rely on just one source, and also try to look at all the different energy sources that we can actually lay hands on and just try to improve each of these sources so that one is not too overpowered. So since all of these investments are coming in, they have to also focus on how they can optimize efforts within those particular areas to drive this data forward. So I think those are some of the things, some of the ways I think we can actually position ourselves properly. So, and then apart from that, so some basic infrastructures also have to be in place to also make us more attractive. So because as of today, the level of awareness that people have about why they need this and the benefits they stand to gain by getting it included, and also the level of productivity that they can achieve, they don't have to understand it. So, and it's until we start putting education at the front in terms of awareness and training to get more people educated about what they can do and the possibilities that abound within the sector.
Right.
I think it's at that point that we can start getting investors more interested, because they understand that the market is ready for them, and there's always a willingness to consume whatever they are bringing in.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, this brings me to the $2 million investment that you guys, of course, talking about InfiBranches now, received from All On, and it's said to help bridge the energy distribution gap in underserved rural and peri-urban areas of Nigeria. I'd like to know how exactly you guys hope to achieve this. What will you do differently now you have this amount of investment, and how is it going to change things?
Okay, so part of what we've been doing before the partnership with All On came was we've worked with NOMAP and Digital Foundation, as you said, to actually do some form of pilot within the sector, to see how we can drive this energy assets. And some of the key problems we realized was payment and distribution is broken. So you see most of the solar providers or mini grids, they are unable to collect payments from most of their customers. So, and that makes those customers unattractive to them. So for instance, I sell a big device to a customer, and the customer is unable to make subsequent payment because the fact that the device is expensive, I can't expect the customers to pay at once. So there's always this pay as you go model where customers pay like an initial deposit and they have to collect subsequent payments. So but once you make the initial deposit, then collecting subsequent payments becomes a problem. And that's where we come in as InfiBranches. So InfiBranches is a mix of fintech, and so we've done this extensively by layering different services on our flagship product called OmniBranches. And with a widespread of strategically positioned agents within the country, so we've been able to put power in the hands of people and businesses to help distribute solar devices, help collect payment for solar transactions in different locations across the country. So what's going to really change with this new investment is we're going to actually improve on what we've done. So one of the key things we've done is to create a single point of integration. So more like a single way of connecting to different payment channels. So we're trying to increase the reach. So basically we need to create more avenues. So we're working with different partners, different payment providers across the country, so that we can also expose what we've done in terms of the connection we've done, expose it to all their own customers as well. So I'll give you an instance. As of today, we've connected 23 solar home systems and mini grids on our system. So that means you can collect payment or make payment for 23 solar systems, company, and mini grids within the country. And so using that single point of integration, once we connect to any payment channel, all the customers that use that payment channel automatically have access to all the 23 mini grids. So same thing works for the solar home providers as well. So for all the 12 payment channels that we have existing today, so once they integrate to us, they also have access to all the customers of those payment channels. So it's a win-win for both parties. So, and that's where InfiBranches come into play. And that's one of the things that this $2 million investment is going to help us increase and take to the next level.
I was just going to ask now if you'll be focusing on any particular rural location.
Yes, so as part of our commitment, so we have a special focus for Niger Delta.
Okay.
I think I mentioned that earlier. So, and we're planning to actually increase the reach in those locations, also bring as many people on board. So we have, we're planning to recruit as many as possible with as agents and individual businesses within those locations that can serve as distribution and payment points for the solar sector. So those are some of the key things we'll be doing with this fund.
Amazing stuff. Now, just before I let you go, what is your long-term projection for the energy sector? I believe that if we have investments like this coming in, it's going to be good news 10, 20 years from now.
Absolutely. So one of the key things for us is impact is at the core of what we're doing, and one of our key slogans is taking financial and energy access to the last mile. And so we're hoping to be able to create more jobs. So that means we are hoping in the next 5 to 6 years have about 150 agents that will be direct agents of INFI branches, in addition to the other partnerships that we've done. At the same time, hopefully we'll be able to impact over 10 million households, so whereby we're able to process a lot of transactions and get everybody productive by getting them included in the energy access.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Olushola. It's been really great talking to you, and congratulations once again. We're looking out for INFI branches, and we'll just see all of the great stuff that you'll be doing.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for having me.
And that was Olushola Owoyemi. He's the Chief Executive Officer, INFI Branches, a technology and clean energy advocate, and leads strategy, partnerships, fundraising, and expansion at INFI Branches. The Breakfast Connect continues in just a moment. Stay here.